everyone, I hope you're all well. I wanted to do a sit down chatty video, just sort of reflecting at the halfway point of the year on all of the things that have happened over the last 6 months and which are continuing to happen. It's just utter chaos around here, quite frankly. I mean, it's a good problem to have, especially after the pandemic. Like, I'm not complaining, but there are so many things, and I just wanted to sit down and chat to you. We've got life stuff, we've got work things, there's been a lot of changes and there are lots of things coming up, and I just wanted to sit and chat about them, really. So I want to know what you're up to as well. Please do let me know in the comments. How is your year looking? What projects are you working on? How is 2022 shaping up for you? I do normally, and I did, set goals at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year I reflect on those and I set new goals. But I didn't want to do something as formal as that. I didn't want to sit here and say, well, these were the goals I set and here's how I'm getting on with them. I just want to sit and have a chat. So there we are. So let's start with, I guess, the elephant in the room, which is the fact that there are no books on my bookcase. There is this rather lovely plant who I'm quite fond of. I just got this plant at a fete at my kids' school, and I rather love her. What a beautiful colour. My children have called her Violet, so Violet will be joining us in some videos. You'll also notice it was my youngest's 5th birthday. She had a lovely day, so we just had the party at the weekend, which is another thing that's been a source of kind of busyness and organising, because she had her actual birthday in the week, and then we had the party, which actually my husband did a lot of the organising for that, so I'm very grateful for that, because things have been rather a lot for me. So yeah, I'm glad that he took the reins on that one. Yeah, so it was her birthday, but as I say, you'll notice that there aren't any books, and that's because they are packed because we're moving. So I made a video on here a few weeks ago. I'll link it below, and the little thing where it comes up there, as long as I remember, because I feel like I say this and then I don't actually do it always. So let me know in the comments if I didn't. Yeah, so I did mention in my house tour video that we are moving, and that's why I filmed a house tour before I started packing. We have now started packing. I've probably only packed maybe 10, 15 boxes, something like that. So the books were easy to do, so that's why I did that. I feel like a lot of our house is not that difficult to pack. A lot of our things are already in boxes or containers, you know, like they're in a box in a cupboard, or, you know, we can just remove a drawer or whatever it might be. So yes, of course we have packing to do, but it feels manageable, and I think that's why we haven't done very much of it yet, because it looks like we're probably moving in maybe 2 to 4 weeks. We're not really sure, we haven't got a date yet. There's a couple of bits of paperwork that just need to be finished up, but yeah, that's all happening. Obviously, having things like my daughter's birthday party, it limits the time that we can spend packing. So yeah, we haven't really got into it, but we will do. And I would quite like to make a video of packing tips. I don't know if that's something you're interested in. I know this isn't a lifestyle channel, but all the same, I just like to share things that I'm up to. So if you'd like to see me packing stuff, then let me know. I feel like that sounds like such a mad thing to do. Would you like to see me packing boxes? But basically, I moved a lot when I was younger. I feel like I'm quite good at packing, and I love watching that kind of content. So if you'd like to see that, let me know. I would also like to vlog on moving day, but I don't know how irritated people will be if I am vlogging instead of helping. So we'll see how that goes. But I would really like to document the day and the process. So we'll see. I would like to do that. And then I will film a new house tour for you and be sharing how things are going with doing up the house, because I love that kind of content. And there is a lot to do in the new house to make it ours and do it all up. We've got plans, and you know, so yeah, I will be sharing that stuff. I will hopefully be also putting it on Instagram on my home account, which is Emma Rosen Home. I am rubbish at posting on there though, so I hope I will get better at doing that. But if you would like to follow Emma Rosen Home, then please do, and I will be sharing at least some of it. I just feel like because I use Instagram as on my Emma Rosen Books account, so that's the one that I tend to update the most on, and quite often I do stuff at home and then I think, oh, I could have put that on my home account, but at some point I'll get into it, and you know. Anyway, so obviously moving is a big thing, and at the beginning of the year, I had no intention to move. We were in this house for the foreseeable future. We love this house. We're not moving because we're not happy here. We just found a place that, when we weighed up the pros and cons of both houses, we were really excited by the positives of the new house, which when I do a house tour, I will explain, you know, the things that attracted us to the new place. But it has meant that we are not super stressed about it, you know, oh, if it all fell through or whatever. We're quite relaxed about it, because ultimately, if we end up staying here, then so be it. Did you just hear my wrist click? Sorry. Yeah, so we haven't got super stressed about it yet. I mean, people say that moving and getting married and those kind of things are like the most stressful things that you can do. And actually, when we got married, we moved 2 weeks before, so I've been there. Yeah, so but I think we are kind of just taking it in our stride and just getting things done and not worrying about it too much. And yeah, so it's really exciting, and I will be sharing it with you. But obviously that's been taking up a lot of our time in terms of starting to pack, doing all the paperwork, preparing the kids for the fact that we're moving because they've only ever lived here. So yeah, just been a lot of stuff going on. And basically we saw the new house I feel like I'm darting all over the place. I'm sorry, I hope you can follow my train of thought here. Yeah, in March or so was when we saw the new house. And so we went from, at the beginning of the year, of just, yeah, in fact, I started my Emma Rosen Home Instagram account because we were planning to do this house up. We were getting quotes for having a new kitchen done. We had all new carpets put through, and I was going to be sharing us kind of, you know, just doing some redevelopments in our own home. And then all of a sudden it was like, actually, no, we're going to move. So yeah, exciting times, fun times, but obviously it's a lot. At the same time, all of the book stuff for my latest book project is all ramping up at exactly the same time as we're moving. So good timing there. That is such a similar situation in terms of the fact that at the beginning of the year, I had no plans whatsoever to be working on this book that I'm working on right now. Basically, my plan back in January was that I had a few admin bits to tie up, so I needed to do things like my accounts, and like my company accounts and all the stuff. Admin bits, I had stuff I needed to order, and I had to, you know, just that kind of sending messages to people and whatever. So I was tying up all of my loose ends, and my plan then was that I was going to have a look at some drafts of a few different projects and decide which ones I wanted to develop. I had 2 particular projects in mind, and I was maybe going to work on both of them, but certainly prioritise which one I was going to mostly work on. And so I haven't even opened the document for either of those. It never got that far. I went away for the weekend to the Cotswolds with some friends of mine. One of my friends is involved with in fact 2 of my friends are involved with some seagrass projects because they work for Natural England, and the seagrass kind of protection and regeneration is a big thing for Natural England. In case you don't know, Natural England are an organisation which protect our natural environment, so that's on land and the coast and under the water. And so while I was away, I was chatting to my friends about, you know, the things that they were working on. And this one particular friend said, you know, it'd be amazing if there was a book that talked about seagrass, because there aren't, you know, a children's book. There aren't really children's books about seagrass. I can't think of any. And to talk about this amazing regeneration work and the projects to ensure that seagrass as a habitat is protected and restored, because it's such an important habitat for juvenile fishes. So then that obviously has knock-on implications for the fishing industry. And also it absorbs huge amounts of CO2, so it's really, really amazing in terms of climate change as well. So my friend was like, what would that look like? If you had to write a book, how long would that take? what are the different things that need to happen, what's the time scale, what's the cost. So we had this conversation and I didn't expect it to go any further. And then she contacted me and said, yes, they're interested. Can you write a proposal? So I did, something I've never really done before, I haven't ever done before, writing a book proposal. It was then accepted. And in amongst all of this, so I said to my friend, one of the big challenges is finding an illustrator, because often illustrators are booked up massively in advance. And after I talked to her, I sat and thought, wonder how Rhiannon's schedule is looking. So Rhiannon Thomas, who I worked on Milk and Cookies with, I know that she loves the sea. I know her art style. I know that I can trust her, that we have an amazing working relationship. So I messaged Rhiannon on Instagram and said, hey, I've got this project just sort of tentatively in the pipeline. Are you interested? And I basically got a, oh my God, yes, kind of response, which I was like, okay, you're the right person because you're just as excited as I am. So Rhiannon and I put some plans together, I wrote the proposal, and then we really had to get on with it because so the book will be out in September, so we're looking at kind of a 6-month turnaround, which is quick. So I wrote the book in March. I finished it up right at the end of March and sent the draft to Natural England so that they could check that they were happy, that it was what they had in mind, and that it was accurate and all of those kind of things. And they were really happy with that. And then Rhiannon worked on the sketches, and so she sent the sketches over so that they could have a look at those as well. And then together we worked on any changes that needed to happen, perfected the whole thing. And then Rhiannon started on the artwork. So she has been painting for the last month after a long time of research. And if you have a look on Instagram, we did an Instagram live not that long ago where we chatted together and we announced the book. It's about an hour long, but if you want to know all the ins and outs of the project and us two talking together, then do check that one out. But it has been a lot of research and discussions, and because this book has to be right, it's really important that it represents, you know, the habitat, that it's scientifically correct, but also that it's a lovely story and that children are going to enjoy it, and I'm excited. Also, while Rhiannon's been working on the watercolours, I have had the book edited, and so I've been talking to the editor. I've been going back to my beta readers and asking them what they think about certain things. So there's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and we haven't talked about this project. We've made the odd little hint on Instagram, and if you look on my Emma Rosen Books Instagram, you'll see that there's a highlight called something like Seagrass Hints. If you look on there, you can see where we've mentioned it, but because we were working with another organisation, every party had to all be ready for this to be announced before we did that. So there's been a lot of work going on without either of us being able to say anything other than we are working on something together. So it's been amazing. It's really, really exciting, but I am expecting the artwork to arrive this week or next week. As I say, we're moving in the next couple of weeks as well. So when the artwork arrives, I've then got to arrange to have the artwork digitised. So a friend of mine will take photographs of the artwork. I've then got to format that whole book, put it together, order the proofs, make sure that everything's correct before ordering the bulk order of the book. So that has all got to happen over the next few weeks ahead of the launch in September. So there's a lot to be done, and as I say, it's coming at a time when we are really, really, really busy. So I'm excited, but it's just a lot. And it's amazing to think back to January when I didn't even know this project existed, and I haven't even looked at the projects that I was planning to work on. It's just amazing when the year hasn't shaped up at all like you thought it would. I didn't think I'd be moving, and I didn't think I'd be publishing this book, but we're doing both of those things evidently at the same time. So there's all of that. So what else is going on? Well, I launched a podcast, so do check it out, please. There's 3 episodes of it, and I love it. And I have wanted to launch a podcast probably since maybe 2020, but until recently I didn't really know how it would look. So yeah, at the beginning of the year, I finally kind of felt like all those thoughts came together, and I knew how the different sections of the podcast would be. And so, yeah, I decided to go for it. So weirdly, I launched the podcast, stupidly, so that it went live at the same time as I was playing a gig. And what happened is I arrived at the venue. My friend Laura, who I actually interviewed in the last episode, messaged me and said, it's amazing, but on this episode, there's a bit that's gone weird. There was like a technical glitch that meant that a section had repeated itself. Fortunately, I had my laptop with me, so I'm sat as we're kind of setting up band gear, editing live this podcast episode. So you'd think I'd have learnt my lesson and that I would make sure that these things go live when I'm at home and can check that everything went up okay. But no, the third episode went up when I was again at a gig. Fortunately though, it all went to plan, but maybe in the future I should make sure I'm around in case there's a technical issue. But yeah, there are 3 episodes. They're all just brilliant and I love them. So do go and check out my podcast. So yeah, that was a thing that I decided to do that I didn't necessarily need to do, but I wanted to do. So that was really exciting. What else has happened work-wise? I've had a whole load of events. June in particular was very busy for events. I've got about 1 a month. Sorry, my shoulder clicked then. And now something's going past. We'll just carry on, it's plain. So I've got about 1 event a month, but yeah, June I had 3 in one weekend, which I've logged on here. So there's been a whole load of that stuff, ordering books to increase my stock because I panicked that I didn't have enough. I did have enough. A whole load of school events. There's been just lots of things, wonderfully exciting, but it's just very, very busy. What else has been going on that I wanted to update you with? Well, another thing which, again, I announced on this channel, I made a video about it, I'll link it as long as I remember. I went back into teaching. So again, I couldn't have foreseen this at the beginning of the year. If you'd have said to me on January the 1st, will you ever teach again? I'd probably have sworn at you. So things changed. Basically, I was actually sat here working one day. I had the radio on upstairs. And there was an advert on the radio because we were still quite in COVID times around Christmas. There had been a rise in numbers. And on the radio they said there's been a real need for teachers, massive shortage because of teachers being ill, having to isolate, all of those kind of things. And so we really need supply teachers. And I sat there and I thought, I miss teaching. Where did that come from? And I thought, I could do supply. Now again, anytime you'd have asked me before, would you consider supply teaching? I'd have said, no. If I wanted to teach, I will go and get a teaching job. I don't want to do it. And it was just like all of these things where I had thought about teaching before, and I had thought about the fact that I missed teaching because my son's just gone to secondary school, so I've had a bit of nostalgia for the old days. So I had thought about it, but it was like it all kind of clicked together in January where I went, actually, I'd really like to do that. Just couldn't have told you that that would happen. So I signed up with some agencies and I've been doing supply. I think I started in February. And my aim was to do 2 days a week so that I would be doing 2.5 days of writing related things, half a day of volunteer work, because I do some breastfeeding volunteer work, and then 2 days teaching. What actually happened is that I ended up teaching 3 days a week for most of that time, because I find it very hard to say no, especially when people are offering to pay me. So yeah, I've actually ended up doing a lot of teaching. I've scaled all that back because I'm aware that the book is coming up. So actually, teaching-wise, right now, it's quite quiet, and obviously the summer holidays are coming up. Moving forward, I'm really enjoying doing supply, so maybe I would end up taking a role somewhere, but maybe I wouldn't. But right now, supply is great. If you wanted me to do a video talking about what supply teaching entails and maybe what I don't know, what I take with me or what a day of supply might look like, I don't know. If you're interested, let me know, or if you want to know about teaching in general, because I qualified in 2000 and 8, 9, something like that. So yeah, let me know if you would like to know more about that stuff. But essentially, I mean, obviously we're moving house as well, so having an income is helpful. So essentially, I keep on building my my book business, my writing business, and that's going really well, hence being so busy, but also having, you know, something a little bit more reliable financially going on alongside it. So it's achieving that balance, which I think for me is 2 days teaching, but having that flexibility to just drop it back if I need to. So because I don't want to jeopardize all of the exciting book things that I work on. So yeah, it's getting the balance in terms of money, in terms of my own sanity, and being able to do the writing things that I want to. But I've been loving it. I've been really enjoying being in the classroom. It's been a hugely positive experience. Yeah, it's really nice, and I'm really glad I went back. It was absolutely the right decision. So yeah, there's been that as well. So as I say, moving house, starting a new job, I guess, as a supply teacher. My fingernail's dirty. I got a new plant and I repotted it. Anyway, also, what was I saying? New book, and other sort of things related to my book career, such as the podcast. I do have another project that I will be announcing in the autumn related to bookish things. So there's all of that. What else is going on? I am investigating getting my teeth straightened. I'm planning to vlog that as well. If you're interested, let me know. I had a consultation and the dentist said I can't get Invisalign, or like, I think there's other brands, but I can't have that similar process because this tooth, this canine, is quite wonky, and he said it can't do that. So I'm going to have some kind of actual braces, but like invisible braces. So if I came up close to the camera, you'd be able to see them. They're not as invisible as Invisalign, but still like unobtrusive. So I'm thinking of vlogging, you know, that process, getting it done, chatting about how I find it, because I find it useful to see, you know, if I'm interested in getting something done, then I like watching videos. For instance, I was going to get laser eye surgery, and I remember Jim Chapman did a vlog about that, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, it's not quite what I thought it was. I'll go and look into it. Now, I actually can't have laser eye surgery because it can't correct my eyes enough, basically, and I would just very quickly need glasses again. So because I'm really long-sighted, very, very long-sighted. So I just can't see right now because I took the glasses off. I would like to share the experience in case any of you guys are thinking of having your teeth straightened and you'd like to know more, because I found that a useful experience when I was considering laser eye surgery. So there we are, that's also happening. On top of that, let me think, other things to mention. Things with the band are going amazingly. We started the year with maybe 1 or 2 gigs booked in, and then actually we're getting asked for more and more. I've had to turn some down, which is, you know, unusual really. So that's really fun. We don't gig super often because we all have families and stuff going on, so we don't want to be gigging every weekend. And I think we've got quite a nice balance right now. So that's really fun. There's some exciting stuff, some fun gigs coming up. If you're interested, I'll link that below as well. Screaming Cherries, so you can look us up. And yeah, we've had some really, really good gigs. We had one at the beginning of the year that was cancelled due to COVID. So, but now we're into the swing of things. We've got an exciting season ahead. So yeah, I'm really enjoying band-related stuff. And also, I don't really talk about my volunteer work on here. I don't really know why. I have done a little bit because I've written books about breastfeeding and I volunteer in breastfeeding support. I think I just try to keep things relatively separate, but as time has gone on, like in this video, I'm just kind of sharing all the things. I volunteer at the breastfeeding support group. We reopened our doors in September last year, so we've not long been back face to face. But I passed my breastfeeding counsellor qualification right at the beginning of the year. And actually, so it takes 2 years to become a breastfeeding counsellor. I'm a probationary breastfeeding counsellor right now. And I started it because during the pandemic I wanted something kind of positive to be working on, and because my role in breastfeeding support, well, it had gone online. We were still running, but online. I missed it, so I decided to qualify as a breastfeeding counsellor to do the course. And then when everything kind of started ramping up again, I was like, wow, okay, I really don't have time for this, but I managed, got there, I qualified, I passed. So right now I'm a probationary breastfeeding counsellor, which means that for 6 months I'm probationary and I'm on the breastfeeding helpline. I have to take a certain amount of calls, which is an amazing service. I'll link them below as well. They're fantastic. If you know someone who's breastfeeding, let them know about it, because it's amazing. It's UK only, but fantastic. Yeah, such a good service. So again, in terms of the volunteer work, things are ramping up. I'm doing more than I was because I'm involved with the group, but then I'm also on the helpline. So yeah, we just had our AGM for the support group, and it was really nice. And I love a breastfeeding group AGM. You may notice I have to pause to say breastfeeding group because we call it boob group, and I have to just center myself breastfeeding. But yeah, so we had the boob group AGM. They're always nice. It's really nice. So yeah, and we've got loads of big plans, which you'll maybe see me sharing some of them, particularly on my Instagram. But again, I try to sort of separate the different facets of what I do. So I don't share tons and tons of stuff from the band, and I don't share tons and tons of volunteer stuff. I try to sort of keep, I don't know why, but I do, it's a thing. So yeah, you might see me sharing some bits and pieces that I'm involved in. So we've got some really exciting stuff coming up. So life is busy and I'm thrilled. It's a lot to balance, but I'm loving it, I have to say. And even this week, today, right now as I film this, I'm going to see Alanis Morissette live at the O2 tonight with my 9-year-old. So excited, a little bit apprehensive about her staying up so late, but I love Alanis Morissette. Her Jagged Little Pill must have been one of the first albums I had. So really excited about that tonight. And then tomorrow I've got a local event that I'm going to. This weekend I'm running a stall for breastfeeding groups. So yeah, lots of things. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you really, just the excitement, the fact that it's a busy time, but it's a really good time, and yeah, I'll be telling you more about it at the end of the year. So if I'm sometimes a bit quiet on social media, it's because I'm busy. But like sometimes for like 2 days you'll just have nothing on Instagram stories. I didn't put a video up, was it last week? No, the week before, because I was just swamped. So it does happen. That's why I'm just really up against it, but enjoying it. So there we are. This has been really rambly. If you stayed till the end, put in the comments, I've stayed till the end. You shall have your reward. You can have 10 points. I don't know what the 10 points entitle you to, but enjoy them. Right, thank you for watching. Please do like if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more, hopefully less rambly videos than this one. And leave me a comment, let me know how your year is going. I hope you're having a good one so far. Take care.